All right, and recording has now begun on my end. So I'm just gonna make sure all my technology is off over here so no mysterious alarms go off in the middle of the session. Okay. All right, everybody. So I'm gonna dive into the channeling state and I'll allow for Ryok to come through and then we shall proceed. So enjoy and thank you all again for your presence. All right, and we thank each and every single one of you for the unique co-creation of this interaction. It is our civilization's highest joy, passion, and excitement to be able to speak to each of you in this unique way through the channel. We shall begin today's transmission with the following idea. You are all microcosms of the whole. In other words, everything that you observe within your external reality, what you consider to be your planetary consciousness, what you consider to be the consciousness of your solar system, what you consider to be the consciousness of your universe and ultimately the multiverse, has reflective qualities that exist within each of you. In other words, there are aspects of your physical body. There are aspects of your energy body that are synchronized, vibrationally speaking, with these different elements of creation that you perceive in the world that appears to be around you. We remind you that the world which appears to be around you exists within you as an energy source that you then project outwardly to create your experience of physical reality, as well as information within you that again is synchronized, vibrationally speaking, to the seemingly externalized reality. Some of this information, which is synchronized to the external reality, relates to physical structures and energetic structures within your body. For example, you have the idea of your skeletal system. The skeletal system, energetically speaking, relates to, in your physical reality experience, the idea of the crystalline kingdoms and beings. It also relates to the idea of the oceanic consciousness, as well as certain types of planetary consciousness within your solar system that relates to the planet you call Mercury. There are other examples of this as well in your physical body. Your skin, in many ways, reflects and relates, vibrationally speaking, to the idea of what you might consider to be the bark of trees. It also relates to what you might consider to be the leaves that you perceive to be on trees, so on and so forth. There are many examples in nature that you can observe that relate to different types of energetic and anatomical structures and components to your anatomy and to your physiology. As such, when you commune with different types of natural forces and natural beings that are a part of creation, you are also, through that external communion, communing with certain types of energies that are present within you, within your own consciousness. Today, we shall be focusing upon the idea of what you might consider to be the plant beings as well as the mineral beings. And we will explore with you the different ways that these forms of earth-based consciousness relate to your consciousness, and how through communing with the mineral crystalline beings and the plant beings, you can access different types of dimensional forms of awareness present within your own being. Now, as we have said in the beginning, the mineral beings and the crystalline forms of consciousness relate in particular to your bones. When you commune with the idea of mineral and crystalline beings, you are accessing your skeletal system through the idea of resonance between the skeletal system and the externalized crystalline mineral beings. One of the reasons that this is very important is due to the common understanding that you have that the crystals are the record keepers. The crystals house the instructional, organizational information that the rest of nature takes its cue from in relationship to the growth, development, and evolutionary processes present in nature. In other words, if you did not have the crystalline beings of your earth present with you, nature itself on your planet would not grow and replicate and evolve in a way that is healthful. So the mineral and crystalline beings assist the plant kingdom, assist the animal kingdoms in vibrant growth and evolution. When you play with these mineral and crystalline beings, you begin to awaken within your own consciousness and awareness of what you might consider to be your ancestral memory, your ancestral connections. You have the idea that your ancestors are present with each and every single one of you as spirit guides, as allies that assist and support you in your journey and exploration of physical reality. We will also now share with you that that is only one level, so to say, of how your ancestry works with you in terms of ancestral memory. You also have, in addition to ancestor spirits guiding you, the idea of ancestral, anatomical, and physiological instructions that, linearly speaking, are passed down from one generation to the next. So when you are tuning into your bones, when you are tuning into your skeleton, you are not only tuning into spiritual ancestral guidance, but you are also tuning into the idea of physiological, anatomical, ancestral memory that assists your body in being able to maintain its sense of integrity, its sense of health, its sense of strength, its sense of organizational alignment in relationship to nature and the original blueprints, so to say, of your body. In addition to this, there is also the ability to tune in to what you might consider to be ancestral memories of other times through accessing the skeletal system within you. So not only can you receive higher self frequency guidance from your ancestors through connecting with your skeletal system, but you can also begin to understand different types of memories, different types of experiences, different types of perspectives that ancestor spirits connected to you through the bones have, in addition to also dialing into the organizational, instructional blueprint that relates to the harmony of your physical body. So when you commune with crystals externally, you are beginning to then access those types of perspectives within your own consciousness through the resonance between the crystals and the skeletal system. The skeletal system also has the unique ability to be programmed with intentions to be programmed with the vibrations, with the frequencies of different types of parallel realities that you may desire to experience and shift to in your physical reality life. So through playing with crystals and through meditating upon your own skeleton, you can begin to program that skeleton with the frequencies of different parallel reality experiences that you desire for yourself to experience. This may relate to manifestations of desired relationships. This may relate to manifestations of different preferred versions of Earth. This may relate to manifestations of different types of spiritual experiences. In other words, there is no limit on the types of intentions and energies that you can program your skeletal system with. In many ways, your skeletal system is the largest crystal that you have access to. And one of the ways that you can get in touch with this skeletal system is through playing with the crystalline and mineral beings of your physical reality and of your Earth. Now, we are going to shift gears a little bit, speaking now about the idea, again, of what we have said about the resonance that exists between your skin and the barks of trees and the leaves and what you might consider to be the more superficial aspects of your plant kingdom. When you commune with the leaves of different plants, with the barks of different plants, with the flowers of different plants, you are beginning to, through that resonant connection, access the more superficial aspects of the physical body, what you consider to be the skin level of your physicality. The skin level of your physicality, in many ways, has a relationship to the idea of your subconscious and the template level of reality that acts as a bridge between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, which again are technically one mind, but many of you, because of your experience of duality, create the sensation of having different compartments, different layers of your mind. What you consider to be the external reality, the aspects of your physical reality that you can perceive visually, this relates to the conscious mind. What resides beneath the border of the skin relates to the idea of the subconscious mind, the skin itself acting as the middle ground between the two levels. So when you commune with bark, with leaves, you are accessing that skin level so you can become more aware of what you might consider to be that template level neutral zone that acts as the barrier between the conscious and the subconscious, what acts as the barrier or the border between the physical energies that make up your physical reality and the non-physical energies that give rise to those physical energies. So through communing with your skin, breathing through the pores of your skin, breathing through the hairs that you perceive to be growing out of your skin, you can begin to access the neutral frequencies of energy that relate to that border zone between the conscious and subconscious, that relate to that border zone between the physical and non-physical. The idea is that, just as we have said with the bones, being able to program the bones with certain frequencies, you can also breathe certain frequencies of energy through the hair, through the pores, through the skin in a way that relates to, again, you shifting your frequency to be in resonance with the frequency of preferred parallel reality experiences. In other words, through meditation and breathing through the skin and the different structures on the skin, you can effectively shift yourself to different frequencies of physical reality that relate to preferential versions of the physical reality that you can then experience. Now, we shall, at the end of this transmission, guide you through very specific meditations so you can access these different levels of yourself in a way that feels very visceral, in a way that feels very physical, in a way that will allow for you to understand very concretely how you can, on your own, access the energy of the skin and the bones to experience positive change and positive shifting within your own physical reality experience. Now, we are going to now share one other facet of information with you that relates to the idea of a way you can commune with these aspects of nature that you consider to be the mineral beings, the plant beings, in a way that is very energetic and can assist you in dialing in to those subtle energies within your own skin and within your bones. Some of you may be aware of the type of natural medicine that is known as the Bach flower remedies. Understand that this particular form of medicine relates to a type of energetic medicine that draws upon the spiritual frequencies of consciousness that exist within nature in a way that can, when consumed, make augmentations and adjustments within your own consciousness, thus allowing for you to shift frequencies within your own being through the consumption of these flower essences, these flower remedy medicines, so that way you can shift to versions of your body and versions of your mind that you prefer. And one of the ways that you can really get in touch with the plant kingdom, the mineral kingdom, and in turn those reflective aspects of your own body is through the construction of your own flower or plant essences, and then through application in whatever way, shape, or form you prefer of your own flower essences or plant essences. Now, traditionally, the way that these remedies, these flower essence remedies were created was through the idea of, in the morning time, gathering the flowers while the dew was present upon them, and then placing these flowers, fresh flowers, in a bowl of spring water, allowing for then that bowl of spring water holding the flowers to become saturated with sunlight for approximately 3 hours. Once that is finished, the idea is to take that spring water, which is now saturated with the consciousness of the flowers, and to pour that spring water, straining out the flowers, into a container, filling the container approximately halfway, then filling the remainder of the container with the alcohol that you call brandy, which reflects the idea of the spirit quality of the flowers. And that is why you have the understanding that alcohol is a spirit, in that the alcohol has the ability to siphon into itself different frequencies of energy that relate to the level of consciousness that you call the spirit level, the higher level of your own being. So the idea would be to have this container filled halfway with the spring water, halfway with the brandy, and this is what is known as the mother essence. When you desire to apply the mother essence to your body or for other purposes, the idea is to then take a 1 ounce container, pouring the mother essence into the 1 ounce container, filling it halfway, then filling the other half of the 1 ounce container with brandy. And this 1 ounce container will then be calibrated in the appropriate way to enable you to receive energies from the spirit level of the flowers that you have created in terms of the mother essence. You can consume a few drops of this. You can also allow for yourself to place different drops on what you know as the different acupuncture points, the different chakra points on the body, to allow for these flower essences to calibrate your nervous system, to calibrate your energy body. The new facet of information we are going to share with you in relationship to this traditional way of creating the flower essences is the following. When you are soaking the flowers or leaves or bark of your preference in the spring water at step 1, you can also place within this water a crystal of your preference. Ideally, a quartz crystal, for the quartz in many ways is able to amplify psychic energy, and it is also able to store energy in the form of electromagnetic frequencies and photonic light. So when you make the idea of your flower or plant essences, when you are soaking the flower or plant essence in the spring water, allow for yourself to also have within that water a quartz crystal of your choosing. And then as you strain the flowers out, allow for yourself to hold that crystal, to place that crystal on your person. And the crystal will act as a physical data storage device which can hold the subtle energies of that flower or plant essence in a way that can allow for you to access those energies when you're on the go, when you're traveling, or simply having that crystal with you. And it can also be used as an object of meditation. So when you go into your meditative spaces and states to commune with nature, you can hold on to this crystal and you can hold it in your hands or place it on your body, and it will allow for you to access that level of ancestral memory, both of your earth and within your own skeletal system, in a way that relates to the theme of that particular plant essence. Now, the traditional flower remedies were created in a way that specifically utilized only the flowers. And understand this is a traditional way to create these remedies. But you can also utilize the bark of trees. You can also utilize the leaves of trees. And this will, in many ways, allow for you to commune very powerfully with the idea of these spirit levels of plants that you find yourselves drawn to. And through applying these plant essences in whatever way, shape, or form you are excited to apply them in, and through holding the crystal, through meditating with the crystal that has been charged with these flower essences, you can effectively allow for yourself to go into a full body state that will enable you to commune with the different spirit levels that exist within that particular plant consciousness and within your own body. One of the reasons that this is very important and can be a very powerful permission slip is because the beings that we have described as the hybrid children, whom will be some of the first beings to make contact with you and your species, commune with you primarily through nature. One of the easiest ways to commune with the hybrid children is to commune with the elementals that are the spirit beings that are entangled with nature in its relationship to your physical reality. So when you consume or apply the plant essence, and when you hold and utilize the crystal that has been charged with it, you're allowing for yourself to dial in to that spirit level of nature, thus synchronizing you with the frequency of the elementals. So you can begin to commune with them, you can begin to play with them. It will also allow for you, through communing with the elementals, to eventually ground and raise your frequency simultaneously to a certain point that will then allow for the hybrid children to begin to make telepathic contact with you. The idea is that the plants and the parts of the plants that are connected to specific elementals and specific hybrids that relate to you and your unique frequency will be detectable through simply observing which plants you are most inspired by. For example, you can make an essence of rose through this process by utilizing the petals of the rose flower. You can also, in that sense, utilize the barks of certain trees, really whatever plant you are drawn to. And this is a way you can, in a very deep sense, commune with the spirit level of nature to assist you in tapping into elemental and hybrid consciousness. And as we have said, through playing with the crystalline levels of nature and the plant levels of nature, you can also begin to access the skeletal level of your physical body to play with and access your ancestral connections, as well as the skin level of your physical body to assist you in playing with and accessing the template reality level, the border between conscious and subconscious, physical and non-physical. At this time, we will now allow for each of you to present to us different types of questions that you are inspired to ask, and we shall then begin to dialogue with each of you in whatever way, shape, or form is appropriate. And we thank you all so much for your attention in this transmission thus far.
Hello, Ryok.
Greetings, good day, and how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Really excited to have opportunity to ask you. So I would like to ask, what happens when people consumes plant medicine called ayahuasca and have a visions? What actually these visions are?
Well, the visions can be different types of information that relates to what you might consider to be information perception that relates to a point of view that is higher in frequency than the physical mind. In other words, the visions represent different forms of information being perceived through the perspective of your higher self and even that of your soul. The type of information and its frequency will relate to the overall frequency of the individual in relationship to the state of being they go into when they consume the ayahuasca medicine. But it relates to the ability to perceive from higher vantage points, that of the higher self and that of the soul.
But people say that they can see or hear answers, and they feel that this is like kind of a feminine energy spirit of these plants talking with them. Is it true?
Yes. In many ways, they are utilizing the underlying essential level of the plant medicine to act as a deliverer of information that they perceive on the level of the higher self and the soul. So it's almost as if they are utilizing the overall consciousness that is associated with the ayahuasca brew as a information assistant and deliverer.
Okay, thank you.
You are so welcome.
I also would like to ask how we can use crystals for some of our spiritual practices, for example, to improve astral travel.
Well, the technique we have shared is one way. You can utilize the crystals. You can place them on different parts of your body. You can sit in a chair just as the channel is sitting, and you can place them between your feet. You can wear them as pendants. If you wish, you can also, through your wire wrapping techniques and other forms of jewelry making techniques, create and fashion certain types of clothing and jewelry that can allow for crystals to remain on certain anatomical locations of your physical body for prolonged periods of time. In other words, you could make a type of head jewelry that allows for the crystals that are a part of the jewelry to be fixed upon the mid-eyebrow point, upon the forehead point, upon the crown, and so on and so forth, in a way that can allow for individuals to keep crystals on those areas. So when they go into certain types of altered states, they can simply allow for the crystals to work on the physical and energetic body without having to be concerned of the crystal falling or moving. And this can allow for the crystals to really saturate and program these energetic centers in a way that can expand and accelerate different types of multidimensional skills. So there's many ways you can go about it, but specifically for the types of permission slips and activities you are mentioning in relationship to astral travel, different types of crystalline jewelry that can allow for the crystals to remain fixed in some of these higher chakra locations can be of great service. But ultimately, the techniques that will work the best for you are the techniques that you are most excited by, and your imagination will deliver to you those particular techniques. And the techniques we have mentioned and more are all possibilities and are all available to you.
Can we somehow to charge crystals?
There are many ways to charge crystals. What you consider to be different events that relate to cosmic activations or cosmic phenomenon can be utilized to charge crystals. What you consider to be the energies of new moons, the energies of full moons, the energies of thunderstorms. These can all be utilized to charge crystals. You can also go into states of ecstasy, states of joy within yourself, and that energy can be used to charge the crystal. You can also go into what you consider to be states of arousal, states of orgasm within your own body, and this can be used to charge the crystal. You can place the crystals near fire, and the fire can charge crystals. The idea is any high frequency environment or energy state can effectively be condensed into a crystal, thus charging the crystal with these different energies, and different energy sources can even be combined to charge the crystals. Again, your imagination is your best guide. However, feel free to utilize that which we have mentioned thus far.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you.
Ha'atu as a sign people.
Ha'atu and you.
I'm good. I'm very excited. Maybe a little bit too much, but it's okay.
Oh, no such thing, unless you define that as being
Yeah.
possible for you.
Yeah, but I just recognize that each time I have in contact with such beings like you, my body starts to react in some ways.
Yes, yes. You're experiencing yourself raising your frequency to more greatly match ours. And sometimes when that happens, you can begin to become aware of some of the energies that you are in the process of letting go of becoming triggered within your own awareness. And that is very normal, and in many ways is a beneficial type of experience, for it allows for you to know the energies that serve you very clearly and the energies that no longer serve you very clearly. So after this interaction, you can then more effectively use the positive states to ultimately let go of the less positive or more negative energies.
Yeah, I recognize that. Thank you for reflecting that.
You are so welcome. How may we be of service to you?
First of all, I would like to continue on the topic of minerals and plants in relationship with soul level. So in our world, we have, I think, a little bit outdated story that our soul goes through the mineral, through the plants, and then into human beings and so forth, and so evolves. So I would like to ask if plants or minerals have some kind of individual souls behind them that gathers experience and evolves in that way, being ready when
In a certain sense, yes. In a certain sense, yes, but it's different than what you consider to be your human consciousness. The consciousness of plants, beings, function largely as a collective consciousness. Now, there are aspects to that collective consciousness that you would consider to be individuated consciousness. In other words, individual plant beings. But the plants themselves that are of a particular species don't operate from the point of view of individuated consciousness. They operate from the point of view of collective consciousness. Now, in addition to this, they also are entangled with the idea of the elementals. So the mineral elementals are associated with the plants, and the plants will utilize them to assist their physical bodies in growth and evolution. The plant beings will also draw upon water elementals, fire elementals, earth elementals to assist them in their growth and evolution in relationship to their physical body. Now, the type of consciousness that they are on a physical level does grow and evolve in relationship to the experience of change over time. So there is a certain type of evolution and growth that takes place within plant consciousness. However, again, the plant consciousness sees itself as collective. In other words, even though plants are able to be experienced as having a physical body, the plant spirit itself observes itself as all plants of that species. So in other words, what you consider to be the rose plant or flower, for example, as a consciousness is not just one isolated flower. It is every rose flower. Does that make sense so far?
Yes, yes, very nice.
And it grows and evolves with each generation of the entire species. So its rate of evolution is very different, and it's much larger in terms of its point of view than how all of you experience yourselves in your physical reality experiences. Does that make sense for you?
Yes, I would like to ask, for example, I now experiencing myself as a human, but for example, when I die and I go to the oversoul level of consciousness, can I then choose, for example, to experience myself in that way as the plants or as the animals or as
Yes,
the
absolutely.
Yeah.
From the oversoul level, you're actually already doing just that. However, when you die, as you say, and you shift your individuated frequency to be in resonance with the soul or oversoul, then in a sense, you too will also have that perspective available to you as well, because there will be no difference in terms of vibration between your individuated consciousness and the frequency of the soul or oversoul. Does that make sense for you?
Yes, yes. And what about the concept of old souls, young souls, what it's all about, since everything exists all at once?
The idea is really in relationship to experience that determines a young soul or an old soul. It doesn't so much relate to age. Souls do not gain experience, so to say, with age. They gain experience through the idea of diverse incarnational scenarios. So, for example, you may have a type of soul that has many incarnations on Earth. And let's say it has less incarnations in other types of dimensional experiences, perhaps incarnations that relate to what you might consider to be ET worlds. In that ET world, they may be considered a type of young soul because most of their experience is related to other realities from that soul point of view and is not related to that extraterrestrial world they have also incarnated into. So what you consider to be a old soul on Earth is oftentimes a soul that has had many incarnational experiences on Earth, as well as many incarnational experiences in very high frequency levels of reality, thus allowing for the incarnated being to have a very intuitive, well-rounded point of view that translates in your physical reality as wisdom. And that is really what you're talking about when you describe someone as an old soul, someone whom is wise. And wisdom is developed through holistic, well-rounded, diverse experiences. The idea of a young soul would simply be an individual whom from the soul level has had the idea of less diverse themes of incarnation and has instead chosen for themselves to focus on more specific themes rather than holistic, diverse themes of experience. Now, of course, that can change as an individual shifts and changes their frequency in their incarnation, for there are different versions of your soul that exist, just as there are different versions of you. And as you shift your frequency in your physical reality, you can actually align with different versions of your soul that have had very diverse, well-rounded experiences. Does that make sense for you?
Yes, so as I understand, the souls is something like a memory storage or memory banks that gathers memory in order to experience evolution, yes?
In a sense, however, it's not memory in the way you're used to, which is based on the idea of an awareness of realities that seem to be in the past. The soul's idea of memory is a type of multidimensional, multidirectional memory that draws upon past frequencies of reality, future frequencies of reality, and more present-based frequencies of reality. So it's memory that is nonlinear.
Okay, so now about myself, for example, in this life, I'm not feeling very much excited about this world and activities in this world, and I also feel very strong magnetic pull to realize the source directly, and I keep going back into this approach, and I feel very excited in my meditations. So does that mean that I already have a lot of experience in this density?
In a way, yes. However, the idea is to pay attention to the belief systems that you are utilizing, because feeling not very excited about the reality that you are in may be your consciousness's way of telling you that it's time to create new belief systems and to take new actions, because your excitement is unconditionally available to you. So if you're not feeling very excited within your physical reality life, that may more or less be a sign that it's time to take the energies that you experience and to holistically explore them in your physical reality life.
Yeah, I already considering that, and sometimes, yes, I could recognize that, and I also balancing that, and I do what excites me the most, and I serving others, but at the same time, I feel that that I don't know that like magnetic pull to penetrate beyond illusion.
Yes. Well, we remind you again, it's this and that. You can apply the extra dimensional experiences that you have in meditation, in your spiritual explorations, and you can then apply them in your physical life. Because remember, your physical life is the same as what you experience in the meditative state, because you're experiencing both the physical life and the meditative state from the point of view of yourself as an incarnation. The only difference between external physical reality and the meditative states you go into are differences you create with your belief systems about the two. So allow for your experience of physical reality to be, in terms of the definitions you apply, a vibrational match for the penetrating, meditative, multidimensional states that you go into. And what you will find is that your meditations will continue in your physical life in a way that can allow for you to perceive more of the spiritual, energetic levels that are inseparable from your physical reality. It's only your belief systems that seem to create a limitation in relationship to being able to observe those spiritual levels of the physical reality.
Thank you. Does Asasani people practice meditation?
We are always in a state, so to say, of elevated frequency. So you could say our entire lives are a form of meditation. However, we, for different purposes and different functions, will go into what to you may look like a type of meditative state as a way of really calibrating our energy, again, for specific types of applications. But in general, our entire lives are experienced from the point of view of connection to spirit. So we don't meditate for the same reasons that you do to perceive that connection. The connection for us is all around us and within us. It is eternal. We simply meditate to really hone in on certain frequencies that are exciting to us in the moment. But our entire existence is in and of itself an awareness of that connection. Therefore, you could say our entire existence as a species is one big meditation.
Understood.
This is why we are suggesting something along those lines to you. So if it excites you, you can allow for your life to mirror the types of lives and experiences that we as a species have.
Okay. Yeah, I think I already doing this to some extent.
All right. How exciting. And congratulations on allowing for yourself to walk the middle path, observing the border between the physical and non-physical reality.
Yeah, and I feel that the more I penetrate into the source of my true self, the more I can then serve the world, because it's more expanded.
Yes, precisely. You are setting a particular tone, vibrationally speaking, that other individuals are able to perceive in different ways that they can choose to match in their own unique way, thus allowing for your entire human family to create heaven on earth.
And also about my physical life, I feel reoccurring pain in my lower spine and beneath my left shoulder blade. So can you suggest something for me? How could I heal?
Exactly what we have been sharing with you already, the idea of taking states that you go into and really applying them into your physical reality experience. You're familiar with the idea of grounding into your physical reality and the importance of allowing for your energy body, so to say, to become synchronized with the frequency of your earth? Are you familiar with this idea?
Like being in the nature and
Precisely, yes.
Yeah, I spending a lot of time in the nature.
We would encourage you to allow for yourself to commune in a way that is more direct with nature. Do you allow for yourself to be barefoot on your planet physically each day?
No, because now it feels cold. But
We
sometimes
understand.
yes, on the summertime, yes.
Right? We understand. If you are able to allow for yourself to play with that idea, even though it's cold, in doses that are appropriate for you, nothing that's too stressful for your body, you will find that this will assist your energy in fully synchronizing with the earth, and you will likely then feel the idea of some of the pain beginning to dissipate, because based off our scans, the pain you are describing is occurring due to not being fully synchronized with what you call your Schumann resonance. And it is your Schumann resonance in many ways as a frequency that represents alignment with your planet and alignment with nature. And when you are misaligned in terms of your connection to your planet and nature, pain as a side effect will also then very commonly be experienced to let you know that a strengthening of that connection will benefit you. So electrically synchronizing yourself with the earth can really assist you in calibrating yourself with that Schumann resonance, as well as, if it excites you, utilizing the permission slip tool we have mentioned of extracting, so to say, the essence of certain plants, particularly plants that have large root networks. This can be very beneficial to assist you in that grounding process.
Maybe does mushrooms help?
Well, it can be useful. Again, the mushrooms have a strong connection to the idea of the deep mycelium networks that exist within your earth. Of course, ensuring that the mushrooms that you utilize are non-toxic and are safe, so that way you can receive benefit from extracting. But yes, mushrooms can work. Remember, it's about utilizing plants that resonate the most powerfully with you. May we ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you feel the unconditional support that is intrinsic to your consciousness at all times in your life?
Yes, mostly. It very sometimes it's moments, but it's very short moments when I maybe go in doubt or in fear. But most of the time, yeah, I feel unconditional love.
We would encourage you, pay attention to those brief moments when they arise. We are detecting that there are certain beliefs that are being utilized in your consciousness that relate to the concept of support. And this reflects the idea of discomfort or pain within the low back, the aspect of your back that relates to support and support of your physical structure. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah, yeah. I had some issues with support and with the energy of money, and yeah, but now it's getting better.
How exciting. Continue to play, continue to grow, and you will know always that which you need to know.
And last question about coronavirus. So um, I would like to know if that virus will disappear naturally, because now it's a big topic in our collective about vaccination and against vaccination. And what is your opinion about that? Is it helpful or not?
Well, the idea is that what you consider to be viral species exist naturally on your planet, and different ones become relevant at different times to assist you all in learning lessons. But once you've learned the lesson from that particular viral species, it has no reason to remain as relevant as it does in these types of collective moments. So once you've gotten the lesson, the idea is it's very likely you will, as a species, develop a natural immunity to that particular viral species, and it is also likely that it will become less present in your collective society as you allow for the collective frequency of your species to become more aligned to nature, because the entire reason this species of virus has become so prominent in your collective narrative is because of the unnatural lifestyle your species has been engaging in for the most part. So as you correct that behavior and as you learn from that viral teacher, the teacher then has no reason to stick around, and it's likely you will all develop a natural immunity to it, and simultaneously it will become less and less and less prevalent within your collective society. So when you learn the lesson, the teacher no longer needs to stick around. However, if you don't learn the lessons, it's likely the teacher will remain to really assist you in paying attention to what you're attempting to tell yourself through that teacher.
And how do you sense the probability of when a major collective of our planet will learn that lesson?
It all depends on you as an individual and how you conduct in your life, because understand there's not one objective reality happening around you. You organize your version of the collective based off of your energy, which comes from your beliefs and your corresponding actions. So it is imperative that you as the individual allow for yourself to live a life that is as naturalistic as possible and takes into consideration all ecosystems and all forms of life, so that way you can again set a certain type of energetic tone for others to perceive and match in their own unique ways. And as more and more of you begin to do this, you will, as groups of individuals in a similar frequency state, shift to versions of Earth that have never had the virus in the first place. So that is something that we are detecting is available to you, but again, it depends on your choice, and its time frame will be such that fluctuates based on individual choice. For individuals whom choose to not align with nature, it's probable that the collective viral phenomenon will be extended for them. For individuals that choose to align with nature, it's likely it will be much shorter. It's really that individuated. So we encourage you, live in harmony with your planet, live in harmony with yourselves, and you'll continue to see your preferred version of Earth manifesting around you. Even if it's a little bumpy along the way, that's all right, because birthing, as many of you know, is a little bumpy, and you are all birthing a new version of your society.
And about vaccination, is it beneficial or it's more dangerous?
It depends. It depends on the belief systems that are being utilized, the version of Earth that you are on, and the way these types of medicines are constructed. Again, if the medicines are not constructed in a way that is aligned with nature, then obviously they will be unnatural to your bodies. And that will manifest in certain ways, in certain forms. So it's imperative to ensure that you use perspectives, you use belief systems in relationship to your medicines that are positive, that are beneficial, so you can then experience positive and beneficial versions of medicines. But if you judge medicines, if you fear medicines, then versions of medicines that are not natural will be what your society manifests. So it's all in your hands. Use the belief systems that you prefer to utilize. Take the choices that are exciting and represent your preferred reality, and your collective reality will follow suit. Remember, there's no objective reality, no objective effect. It is created through you, through your beliefs, energy, and actions. All right?
Understood. I just asked because I sensed a lot of fear because someone wants.
Fear is what creates the non-preferential realities related to those themes.
Because there are talks about vaccinations against people's will and so on.
The idea is, if those energies don't resonate with you, don't feed them.
Okay.
It's very simple. Don't feed them. If you say that's not a reality or energy that I prefer, then allow for yourself to change your frequency to match the frequency of a different parallel reality that you do prefer and act that one out. Live as if you are in it. Make sense?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We thank you for your questions.
Thank you very much
today, dear one. You are welcome.
Okay, I will translate questions of our friend who have not very well English.
All right.
Language. So it's again coming back to crystals.
All right.
He asking, have the process of the extraction of the crystals from original space, like mountains, have any negative effect on these places?
If the minerals are extracted in a way that is not based in positive energy, respect, and abundance, then the idea is slowly in those realities that represent the natural locations, there can be a degradation because, as we have said, the mineral consciousness relates to the instruction manual of collective biological organization. So if those minerals are extracted from an energetic state that is not positive, it's as if non-positive energies or more negative energies are then being infused to that underlying organizational level that is the mineral kingdom. But that process can be mitigated through ensuring that if you extract crystals from these environments, that you extract them in a way that's based in love, that's based in respect, with positive intentions and positive energies. And then that will be the type of energy that is then infused into that region and the corresponding aspects of the mineral kingdom associated with it. So the methodology that's utilized and its underlying energy in relationship to mineral extraction is of the utmost importance. Remember, it's technically neutral, but how it's done determines the positive or negative effect.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Another question is, have the processing of crystal downgrading energetic qualities of this crystal?
Please repeat this question for us.
When people processing crystals from the original state, if that process downgrading energetic qualities of the crystals, if it's harming crystal?
Well, again, it comes down to the energy state that's utilized when individuals extract the crystalline beings, because again, crystals hold and store energy. So if negative energies are utilized, then the idea is that that energy can synchronize with the aspects of the mineral kingdom in relationship to the minerals in the location and the crystals that are taken from the location. If positive energies are utilized, then the idea is there will be less of a reductive effect. But in general, there will likely be a slight reductive effect because, again, you're taking an aspect of a location, and in many ways you are reducing in size, so to say, the crystal being. So there will be a slight reductive effect in terms of the overall frequency of that crystal because you will only have a shard of it from the extraction. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a negative thing. And that crystal still remains telepathically linked to the mother crystal that it is extracted from. So ultimately, the positive or negative effect comes from your belief systems, your energy, and the actions taken.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you for your question.
Hello, Ryok.
Greetings, good day, and how are you?
I'm so excited to speak with you again.
And we are so excited to speak to you in this unique way as well.
I have a question about cats.
All right.
What meaning is if cat have different eyes, like blue and yellow?
In many ways, it relates to the ability of the cat to simultaneously perceive the idea of different frequencies of reality. You understand that your soul can have multiple simultaneous incarnations? Yes?
Yes.
And cats in that way, because of their ability to dial into certain frequencies of reality, have the ability to, in a sense, have multifaceted awareness. And this can relate to a cat being aware of its present physical life as well as its other simultaneous existences as other selves. And some cats and some people possess the capacity to, in a sense, maintain an awareness of both versions of themselves, whom they are presently in their current incarnation and whom they are in a certain sense as other simultaneous counterparts. So sometimes when felines or people demonstrate having two different eye colors, it relates to their awareness being synchronized with two different frequencies of reality.
Thank you.
You are very welcome.
And my second question is, do I have Sasani counterpart?
Yes, you have multiple based on what we are able to detect in your frequency.
How I can connect with my counterpart?
The idea is to allow for yourself to imagine the energy of the counterpart simply by matching the frequency of beings of our society through meditating upon my frequency or the frequencies of other members of my society, and allowing for the awareness of that energy to grow bigger and bigger and bigger, using your imagination, using your heart, using your breath. Multiply the sense of our species energy until it gets so big that you cannot contain it within yourself anymore, and it must be expressed in some way. Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Once the energy has gotten so big that it must be expressed in some way, you can then choose different means of expression that relate to communing with other beings. You can automatically speak just as the channel is doing, and you can record yourself. You can begin to automatically write and simply observe what you're writing. You can begin to automatically create, such as drawing or painting. You can also begin to simply imagine and go into visualizations of having dialogues with members of our society. Understand, whenever you have your own experiences with extraterrestrials, more often than not, you're interacting with a counterpart. More often than not. So should you match our species energy on your own, and should you express that in one of the ways we have mentioned or in your own imaginative way, whatever being or whatever energy that comes through to you while you're in that state will more often than not represent one of your counterparts within our civilization.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste and good day.
Uh, I would like to ask, do you pray during your daily spiritual practices to the Creator or to the other spiritual beings from the spiritual world?
Well, again, similar to what we had shared before, our entire life is based in an awareness of our connection to all that is. So, our entire life, in a sense, could be said to be an eternal meditation. In the same way, you could say that our life is an eternal prayer. Because again, when you meditate and when you pray, you are simply tuning into your connection to the all. So because for us that connection and the awareness of that connection is eternal, our entire lives are based around that. Now, we can in certain moments go into states of being that to you might look like prayer or meditation that relate to us really specifying within our consciousness the desired frequencies that we desire to tune into. And in those moments, yes, we will commune with higher frequencies of consciousness. We may commune with very high frequency expressions of all that is. And we will also tune into lower frequency expressions, such as members of your physical reality or other types of physical realities that we desire communion with.
Our planet actually is going through the big changes right now. Just I would like to ask, do you need also some help from us?
Well, remember, it's not that we need help from you. Remember, all things are connected to Source, to the All. So, essentially, we are able to dial in through that connection to all that is to any frequency of reality that we prefer. And the idea being that as we dial into those frequencies and as we act those frequencies out, we then experience those preferred realities unfolding around us. That may appear in a variety of different ways, and some of those ways can be through receiving assistance from other beings. However, that assistance does not necessarily represent the idea of needing help or else. It simply represents a side effect of that preferred reality's unfoldment and how that process of unfoldment takes place. So in a sense, you could say that the assistance or help that we receive does not come from a need of assistance or help. Rather, it comes as a side effect of our preferred reality unfolding. So, in other words, you are assisting us, you are helping us through your own choice to do so, and we are also doing the same for you, not because necessarily either of us need it or else. However, we are sharing assistance with one another because your species and our species have calibrated our future frequencies of experience to that of our highest joy and excitement. And a side effect of that is our species collaborations with one another that you perceive as help or assistance.
Yes, right. Yes. Thank you. God
And
bless.
thank you.
It's me again.
Greetings.
And I have one specific question, which I think is connected to these deep beliefs in maybe not supporting and lack. So when I was born, something had happened, and my mother didn't know what happened, but I was isolated from here for about 2 weeks, and doctors put a lot of also medicine into my body. So I just would like to know if you can tune into that and what has happened.
Again, you are experiencing a type of energy within yourself that relates to not being fully synchronized with the physical reality, with nature. Based off what you are sharing in relationship to that period of separation from your mother at a young age, a certain type of perspective was selected by your infant self that related to not being fully accepted or embraced by the energies of the physical reality and by the energies of what you consider to be the mother archetype. Now, one of the reasons we suggested the deepening of your communion with nature is because your planet represents your great eternal mother. So you have the ability to explore and cultivate and synchronize with those mother archetypal energies through communing in these types of ways and other ways that are exciting to you with your planet. Now, understand that that type of energetic imbalance does not come from the past. Rather, it comes from the present in relationship to you presently using a belief system, a perspective that is vibrationally similar to that infant self in a past yet simultaneous parallel reality. So if you can, allow for yourself to commune with that mothering archetypal energy that relates to unconditional love, nurturing, caring, accepting, embracing. These are the types of energies that, should you begin to explore them and cultivate, particularly through your earth connection, you will likely find transformation shall occur in those areas. However, we will also say that you are following the energetic scent. that which you have shared with us in this second question relates to you diving into that energy and really understanding what it means to you. So keep going, keep playing. You're on the right track in terms of you following your nose of alignment.
Yeah, and also plant medicine. I use plant medicine, for example, cannabis, and I had ayahuasca experiences. So it can also assist me in this.
It can. Remember, utilizing it in a positive way from a place of empowerment can allow for you to receive positive effects that can translate as what you might call healing or realigning with your true center. But yes, they can assist you. Ensure you're using them with integrity, and you will receive effects from them that are a match for that positive energy.
Okay, now we would like to ask Ryok if the channel would be able to tune to a Lyran being at the moment. We have some few questions about the cats.
One moment. We thank you for allowing our energy to be available for you in this way. And now, together, we play as family, as different species of humanoid form across space, across time. If you wish, our kind, whom are ancestrally linked to your kind, will now commune with you, with your world. Please proceed, and we shall play with you.
Hello, what is your name?
A name that you can use for me is Rata.
Hello, Raita.
Hello to you.
We would like to ask you, what is the cat beings which lives in the Earth planet, and how they end up here?
Many of them assume a form when you interact with them that translates to as a type of feline energy. Now, their actual form is not fully feline in nature. However, when you observe them, when you scan them, when you detect them, they will take on that type of form, particularly because it is your feline connections that allow for you to more vividly, more holistically, more comprehensively perceive the beings that you translate as feline. Our kind also falls into this particular category, for the way we appear in and of ourselves is not necessarily a feline form, but to you, when you perceive us, we oftentimes will appear to have that quality. And in many ways, it relates to our unique shape-shifting ability that allows for us to appear to take on different types of forms when you observe us. The beings in your earth whom are experienced in such a way are linked to our species, and are in many ways newer variations of our species. You are all also genetically linked to our species. However, you are a different type of evolutionary. The beings, your inner earth, multidimensional realms, are more genetically aligned with us and are associated with the species that many of you call Anunnaki species. They have, for generations upon generations upon generations, interacted with your kind, have interacted with your human family, and have made contact with many of your different civilizations, particularly those of Egypt, particularly those of Atlantis. And they represent what you might consider to be Anunnaki remnants, in a sense, relating to the idea of Anunnaki beings whom did not migrate off of Earth, but chose to remain entangled with the energetic matrix of your Earth, which allowed for them to synchronize with your inner Earth dimensions, which are non-physical, multi-dimensional realities, not literal physical spaces, to provide guidance to your species and to also provide a reminding of your species' origin.
How we can connect with our cats at homes better, and what kind of benefits we can achieve.
Should you listen to the purring sound of your felines, you will find that you will synchronize energetically with them in a very powerful way. And should you, with your own toning, your own vocal toning, match the frequency of the purring, you will find that it will synchronize your consciousness with the consciousness of your feline companions. And it can allow for you to begin to subtly experience your reality from their multi-dimensional point of view. And you will find that through really mastering your own human purr, you can induce states of multi-dimensional awareness for yourselves, which can allow for you to experience more spiritualized versions of your senses, including the senses and perspective of your own higher self, as well as other higher frequencies of your own consciousness.
Thank you. Do you have any message for the humanity?
One of our most important messages that we will continue to share with you is the importance of allowing for yourself to each day explore the world around you in a way that involves you playing in new locations that relate to your physical reality experience. For understand that when you explore new locations on your Earth, you are allowing for an aspect of your brain and your nervous system that grows based on novelty to become active. Just as when you go to a new location on your Earth through travel and you detect the presence of the unknown, and you find that the unknown brings with it a sense of magic, a sense of spontaneity, that same type of novelty can be elicited within you when you travel in nature. And when you are playing with the energy of the unknown, and you are playing with the energy of novelty, and when you are playing with the energy of spontaneity, you allow for your multi-dimensional senses to begin to open. For you have the understanding that when you do the same old thing, or you're in the same old routine for too long, it becomes a bit stale. becomes a bit dull, when you allow for yourself to explore the state of novelty while in nature, you can more greatly allow for your consciousness to evolve in a way that is very much synchronized with your planet, in a way that is very much synchronized with the energies of nature, so you can begin to perceive more greatly the natural connections that you have within yourselves. And this can allow for you to commune with different spiritualized beings in nature. It can allow for you to commune with your own spirit guides and other frequencies of your own consciousness. So, explore your natural world. And as you explore it, go into locations that are new to you. Go into locations that are unknown to you to awaken that sense of novelty. And you will find that new connections, new levels of awareness, new dimensions of yourself will begin to unfold and awaken within you.
And the last question, do you find interesting music which created by humanity?
What you consider to be the music from the instrument that is known as the didgeridoo. This particular instrument has the ability to awaken connections within you that relate to energies that are of first density, second density, third density. Energies that are associated with the denser aspects of your physical reality, the realm of the elementals. And when the didgeridoo is played, it allows for your energy body through your physicality to synchronize with these lower densities in a way that is very positive and in a way that allows for your consciousness to go through a type of energetic transformation, a type of energetic recycling. And in many ways can be used as a musical device to recalibrate your human frequencies to be a match for some of the denser aspects of your physical reality, to allow for you to explore deeper connections with nature and deeper connections with the idea of your form.
Thank you very much. That's it for the moment. So we would like to ask channel to reconnect to the Ryok.
Thank you for this space and opportunity to commune with you, our family of friends. All right, and we thank you for that unique interaction. We thank you for allowing for our shared ancestral energies to be broadcasted through the channel in front of you. We will now proceed with the meditation component to this transmission. If you will, allow for yourselves to become relaxed. Allow for yourselves to breathe deeply. Allow for yourselves to imagine your skeleton within you. Visualizing your bones. Visualizing the skeleton that supports your physicality. And begin to imagine that your skeleton can mold, can shift, can change its form to be that of any crystal that you desire. You can imagine that it is quartz. You can imagine that it is amethyst. You can imagine that it is citrine. You can imagine that it is bismuth. You can imagine that it is onyx. Any crystalline form that you desire to commune with now. Allow for yourself to observe your skeleton taking on that form. and breathe into your crystal skeleton. Feel your heartbeat beating and imagining that your very heartbeat is charging the crystalline skeleton that you have selected. Feel as if every ba-bum, ba-bum from your heart is empowering your skeleton, is charging your skeleton. Breathe into the heart. Breathe into the bones and feel this energy multiplying, amplifying, and grounding within you. Feel as if your skeleton is absorbing this frequency from the heart, is absorbing this light from the heart. And as your skeleton fills up and charges itself with these energies, feel as if a state of ecstasy, a state of joy begins to increase and increase and increase for you. We will give you a moment to breathe, to multiply this feeling, to saturate this awareness within your own consciousness. Feel the skeleton glowing with these heart energies. And feel the skeleton becoming lighter in nature, gaining levity from these heart frequencies. And as these energies begin to grow within, the sense of levity, the sense of love and joy, imagine that you are in a bubble. And imagine around you in this bubble is the reality of your preference. Using your senses, what does that reality look like? What's taking place? What does the air in this reality smell like? What do the sounds of this reality sound like? And using your heart, detecting what the energies of this reality feel like. Becoming aware of this scene taking place 360 degrees around you within this bubble. We will give you another moment to allow for the imagery to become bigger, more vivid, more saturated, allowing for your breath to multiply the awareness of this preferred reality. Feeling your heart opening, accepting, loving, choosing, being this reality. Allowing the feeling of the reality and your acceptance of it to become bigger and bigger with every breath, with every beat of your heart. And now become aware of the hairs of your body, the pores of your skin. Take a moment to detect and feel all the hairs on your body with your mind, with your awareness, and all the pores on your skin, feeling the hair, feeling the pores as doors, allowing for your outer and inner realities to merge, to blend within your own consciousness. Detecting this reality around you in your bubble. Begin to inhale through every hair, through every pore, into your body and into your bones. Inhaling from the bubble reality, through the hair and pores, and exhaling into your bones. Feeling your bones charging with the frequencies of this unique parallel reality. Inhaling, breathing in through the hair and pores into the bones, and exhaling into your bones. Inhaling, gathering the energy, siphoning it through the pores and hairs into the skeleton, and exhaling it into the skeleton. And continue to breathe in this way, gathering the energy from the bubble into the pores and hairs, and then ultimately into the bones. And we will allow for you to continue this pattern for a few more moments. As you gather the energy through the pores and hairs into the bones, on the exhale, imagine that your bones, your crystalline skeleton begins to grow. With every exhale, see the energy of the bones overflowing into a bubble of energy surrounding the bones, creating a glowing aura around your bones with every exhale. Allowing for that glowing aura to get bigger and bigger with every exhale, gradually exceeding the size of your body. Allowing it to get so big that it begins to fill the bubble reality that you have created around you. Feeling as if this bubble of reality you have placed yourself in the center of is becoming filled with this glowing skeletal aura. Allowing it to grow until it is so big that it's the size of the bubble around you. And on your next inhale, breathe all of this light into your heart center, behind your sternum. Breathe all of this light in here, condensing it here into a small ball. And breathe this ball down into your navel, into your umbilicus, into your abdomen, allowing for this energy to, like a seed within you, germinate and grow, germinate, and grow. When you do this exercise on your own, that ball of energy can also be placed into crystals, and the crystal itself can act as a storage device for the energy of this unique parallel reality to assist you in amplifying that energy, to assist you in amplifying that awareness. Understand your bones are now charged, programmed with the energy of this unique parallel reality. All you must do is think of the reality and act as if you are in it, with no expectation of what needs to occur, what should occur, what must occur, and you will find your physical reality will reflect back to you each day more and more and more of your vision, more and more of this reality. When you sleep at night, breathe into your bones to activate these energies, to assist you in exploring these energies more in your dream world. And when you are ready, allow for yourselves to open your eyes and return to your awareness of the room and space you are in physically. We thank each and every single one of you for the unique co-creation of this interaction. And as always, our civilizations, unconditional love, joy, and appreciation to each and every single one of you for this unique transmission. And we bid you all pleasant dreams and a blissful now.
Thank you, Tyler.
Yeah, thank
How
you.
do you feel? How
I
do you
feel
feel?
I feel great. I feel really nice. I feel pretty happy. I feel pretty calm. A lot of heart love. I feel a lot of heart love right here.
Do you hear what you're channeling? Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear, but it's like I'm listening to a conversation in another room. You know, like yeah, it's like I'm listening to like grown-ups talking, and I'm just like doing my own thing. You know what I mean? Um, it's a great space, and I love it, man. I thought that was a beautiful transmission too. I really enjoyed the flow and the way I felt in that space. And yeah, yeah. How is it for all of you?
Yeah, it's good. We had a lot of good information to process now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had once short experience of channeling, and in that moment I also was hearing my voice, but this skeptic in the mind appeared and started to ask questions if it's real or not.
Yeah.
Do you have the skeptic?
Oh,
Or it's
well,
already disappeared?
I feel very fortunate. I did have it for a while, and it was very distracting. It was very challenging, right? Because you're attempting to deliver this information that's very wise and very expansive, but then you almost have this skeptic in your head that seems almost just as powerful, and then it becomes kind of conflicted. So, to deal with it, I've really had to develop a strong level of presence in the moment in my life, because I found that that same skeptic was actually a part of my everyday life. It was just becoming really noticeable when I was channeling. So to deal with it, to overcome it, I really focused on sort of like mindfulness practice, mindfulness exercise, and
You
mantras.
mean meditation?
Yeah, meditation, but meditation specifically that's not like a visualization. Meditation that's just based on present moment awareness, specifically.
Focusing on the breathing.
Focusing on the breathing, as well as focusing on the feeling of the physical body, right? Like that's been a really big one for me. So I focus on the feeling of the body, and I'll also, to overcome that skeptic voice, I'll just, in my mind, while I'm channeling, I'll just chant the name of my guide. So I'll just be sitting here in the chair spinning, right? And then I just am internally going, Ryok. And I find when I'm doing this, I have like no thoughts, and then that helps the information come through pretty organically. And that's been my most recent way of not having to really deal with some kind of skeptical inner voice.
Okay. Good for you and for
Yeah.
us.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I really appreciate all you being here. This was a lot of fun and a very special transmission. I found that I think the information that came through here was very novel. A lot of it I don't think has been shared before from my guide, and I think that some really great understandings and permission slips came through. So I hope that all of this is of service to you. And in terms of what he was saying about making those essences, those extractions, there's tons of instructions on the web to make those things. So I encourage you, if you're inspired, to play around with that. It's best to use plants that you know are safe. But if you want to find out more about what he was sharing, there's tons of information on how to do it. And yeah, have fun, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. And hopefully we'll do some Zoop event later, and we'll be able to connect more people from around the world.
Yeah, great. That would be phenomenal. Yeah, I would love to do it. And yeah, everybody, thanks so much. If anybody has anything they'd love to share too, I'm open to that. But if not, we can sign off and call it a day.
Yeah. Okay. So, again. Oh.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a good rest of the day.
Hey, you too, everybody. I'm going to show love and appreciation to all of you. Peace. Bye-bye.